Hi everybody, I'm back again with the Bond uh, reviews with spoilers. Bit late in that, yeah, I had to get some screenshots and that. So yeah, but great film. Though. Never say never again, because there was a film with Justin Bieber apparently called Never Say Never. So got to remember to put that again. But yeah, get this there and that. Yeah, yeah, pop culture. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pop culture creator says, hello, hail, sir. Yeah, yeah. Very pop culture on. Yeah, yeah. Never say never again. The Bond film, where, get this, he has four shags. I think it's a record, or because he usually gets two, sometimes three shags. So, like, yeah, fucking, on this one, he gets four. Could possibly being five, but definitely four. And yeah, and pop culture, as for that fat cunt with the fucking fat face, I don't give a fuck what that fat cunt says. Well, I ain't seen it, but let, let's put it this way. I don't listen to anything that fat fucker says. He's, was if you don't know what we're about this YouTuber who's a fat useless cunt that I fucking ain't gonna mention, but whatever he says, I'm not listening to. But yeah. Well, anyway, never say never though. Fucking great fucking film. Considering it's not a proper Bond film, as in it is not canon, and it is a sort of retelling of the Thunderbolt film where fucking Sean Connery has to like fucking stop nuclear warheads that are being stolen by Spectre or Smash, depending on I forget which one they use, but I think it's Spectre. But yeah, fucking great fucking film though. It's like got yeah, get the cast up. Um, because oh, what's his name? Uh, uh, Pat Roach. Yeah, Pat Roach is in this one because he's starting in. Um, I think the first two, definitely. I think it might have been the first three of Indiana Jones, and then he starred in Conan the Destroyer. That was like part two. And he starred in like a Bond film. And yeah, get the oh shit, cast up. Yeah, Sean Connery as James Bond. Kim Bezinger as Donnie Moore. Barbara Carra as Fatima Blush, who plays a villain, and she plays it real good, crazy, and that. And Carlos Mara Brunda as Maximilian, and Max von Shadow as Ernest Stavros Blofeld, and Ron Atkinson, even though he only has a bit part in it, as Nigel Smallington or whatever. He's like plays a bit of a daft cunt. And Edward Fox as him. Bernie Chaser Casey as Felix Leiter. Pamela Salmon as Miss Moneypenny. Valerie Leon as Lady in um, Bahamas, I think. And Alex McCrone as Q, and Pat Roach as Lippy, who is plays a henchman that tries to assassinate Bond and that. And Pamela Green, Roland Pickups, Sukiya Connor, Gavin Ollie, Malroe Kirk, Wendy Leach, Robert Reckitt, Vincent Mazzaro, Celia Marot, Anthony Van Last, Dan Medin, Derek Deadman, which he's like a bit of a British satcher, Billy Jacob, yeah, not like loads of like these and that. Can't be bothered to read all of them, but yeah, they're like the main ones. But yeah, great film though, because get back to the thumbnail, because that shows you quite a bit of the film. Yeah, got the Bond bike in this one, where you can see there. I'll zoom in. Yeah, there we go. The Bond bike, which is pretty class in that. Yeah, and got underwater stuff fighting that. We've got sharks and that. Got like a thingy and all. They use like jetpacks, but they come out of rockets, and so they're like little hoverboard jetpacks. And yeah, who plays Fatima, right? And I don't think there was that bad, and I think that these two birds hating it. Well, it could be because there is quite a few beds, but it's just one of them where it's like, oh yeah, let's just draw some beds. Yeah, Sean Connery. Yeah, like pretty good illustration of the film and that. So, yeah, get onto the spoilers, because it. Yeah, one of them films where the storyline ain't all that new because it was just a retelling of Thunderbolt. But the way they do it though is pretty good. You can hardly tell. Like it's not a shot for shot of Thunderbolt. So get the spoilers on. Yeah, leave that for a bit just so anyone looking to know the spoilers is going to be coming up and that. But yeah, okay, great film. It's a Bond film, so got loads of shagging and shooting and explosions. And as I say, it's pretty much the same sort of storyline of Thunderbolt, but done differently. That it's still like a different film. Apart from you sort of like know what happens at the end if you know what if you've seen Thunderbolt, because practically does do nearly the same exact ending of Thunderbolt. But some great action scenes are and that great fight scene in that with Pat Roach and Sean Connery. And like Sean Connery's getting his ass kicked a bit because Pat Roach, he is a big dude. He and so like even though Sean Connery's a big dude, he's he's still throwing Sean Connery around like he's nothing. Oh, if he's like a woman, he's not as big as Jaws, but he still makes like Sean Connery. He might handle Sean Connery in that. So yeah, oh, yeah. Let's get the fucking never say never again. Screenshots and that. Yeah, that's why I'm a bit late. I've fucking been taking these screenshots and that. So yeah, it becomes a bit fucking of a time consumption. But here we go. Though. Let's share these. Yeah. So, unlike other Bond films, it ain't got the MGM, even though I think they did buy the rights to it. But it was done by Orion Pictures. This one, so it starts off with the Orion Pictures logo and that. And yeah. Mm, yeah. And so then you were oh, let's see who fucking sang it. But anyway, you were the Never Say Never sort of theme tune, and you see like loads of these holes that in closer inspection has got like 007 in that. Uh, uh, you see who, who sung the song. Um, uh, Linny Hall, apparently. Uh, yeah. So yeah, a singer who like I'm not exactly sure because usually with the Bond films they'd get like really top class fucking well known artists, but because this was made by right, they just got an artist that they thought, oh yeah, could sing the song real good because the song's real fucking good, even though it's a bit soppy for a Bond film song. But there has been some soppy songs Bond films. Well, for some reason, the eighties went quite soppy with the Bond songs. Apart, apart from later on in the eighties, but most of the eighties Bond songs were quite like soft ass. But anyway, so then yeah, you see the Never Say Never Again um, sort of writing and that. So you're like, oh yeah, that's what film you're watching. And then it goes into where fucking as like the music's playing, like Bond's in this oh some kind of guerrilla base sort of thing where he's got to save this bird who's been kidnapped. And so yeah, he goes and starts punching the shit out of with that fucking proper like one punch knockout and that. Some of it's a little bit corny in that where you're thinking, oh yeah, okay. Sean Connery has got a strong punch and that, but he's just knocking these dudes out, but he's catching them off guard and that. So you think there might have been a little bit of a fucking, but anyway, fucking takes out all this sort of fucking um, dudes and that because he throws this. He climbs up on a telephone pole and that, and throws this sort of like frisbee thing that makes a noise, and so the guards sort of like look at that, and like the footballer and that, so he gets into the base. Real good tactical fucking techniques and that. He proper goes like Snake Plissken fucking route where he's just sort of fucking taking them out one by one and that, and making sure he's keeping fucking like stealthy and that, or as stealthy as he can be, as he's like blowing the shower stuff and that. But yeah, so he like slides from the telephone pole on like a slip on like a fucking rope zip line that he makes or uses to like get down onto the roof. And you see here where it tells you, oh yeah, it's based on an original story by Kevin McClory and Jack Whitman and Ian Fleming, where they're basically saying, oh yeah, we're just sort of remaking Thunderbolt. But yeah, as I say, because none of this happened in Thunderbolt, so like the sort of change it enough. But yeah, well anyway, he fucking puts a firebang or a what do you call them? Shock bang grenade in and fucks up these soldiers and that, and, like shoots them and that, and then fucking frees the bed who was like tied to a bed, but then she stabs him, and then it's in M's office where it was only a fucking training exercise just to see how fucking sharp Bond's skills are and that on the field. And Bond sort of like saying, "Oh yeah, well, I only died once," and then he was, and M's like, "No, you died twice." He's like, "No, the other time I just got my legs blown off, and I would have been alive." But then M's like, "Yeah, but you was totally incapacitated, so it's like if you're dead, sort of thing." So yeah, like Bond's like, "Oh." Because it's a new M in the storyline that like is not all happy with the 007 or the 00 agent branch. Yeah. So fucking doing it all. Yeah. Like comes out and that because you're talking to Miss Moneypenny and that, and she's sort of like, "Oh yeah, okay, you all right in that?" And he's like, "Oh no, okay, I've got to go to like a health spa sort of thing." So she's like, "All right, well, be careful," sort of thing. Hope you're all right in that, because this is the like Miss Moneypenny that they had to use because they couldn't use the ones that you usually see and that. Anyway, he turns up to this health spa club thing where he's getting a full medical and that. in a Bentley and that fucking nice Bentley. He's all, oh yeah, fucking. You don't see this Bentley. If it was one of them where it's like, yep, there we go. You won't be getting anything trashed on that sort of thing. We're not putting missiles and all that crap on it. Where yeah, fucking. The doctor tells him, "Oh yeah, you fucking like need to start fucking looking after yourself and all this shit." And then fucking Bond like has to give like a piss sample and that. And then you see oh I forget her name. But she goes to like into this room with like the skull and that of Spectre or Smash, one of the two. But anyway, she's in the room and oh, who is it? What's his name? Max von Sydow, hooky playing Blofeld and that. Yeah, and that Fatima, Fatima Blush, played by Barbara Carrot. She's in the room and that, and he's like telling them, "Oh yeah, we've got this plan to fucking steal some nuclear thermal warheads and that, and we've got this dude who we fucking putting the president's well a replica sort of the president's eye in this dude's eye, so he can scan this eye machine to put these warheads into the planes because it's dummy mission. The thing they just got like dummy warheads in that non lethal like warheads, but the plan is to get this dude to pretend he's the president to this machine that scans his eye, and he tells the warheads to be replaced with real nuclear warheads, not just dummy warheads that it's got. Well, anyway, fucking you see Bond and that, and he's like getting in sort of like physical sort of thing and having some stretches and that by like a therapist who's a female therapist. So, like, spoilers, he shags her and that because it's like the first shagging he does in that. Well, yeah, Bond sort of like invites her in and that and gives her some like because he's got a hamper and that. Well, then you see, oh, cause yeah, so after the hamper and that, yeah, he fucking like shags her, and then he hears fucking noises where it's oh, what the fuck's her name again? Keep getting her fucking name. Fatima, that's it, yeah. Where Fatima is like kicking off at the dude who has been smoking, and because he's had this eye transplant with a fake US president's eye scan retinal, so he can fake it. Yeah, yeah. Can't make you smoke, yeah. The first shag is away. Yeah. Oh, there's 4 in this one. There could have been 5, but um, it don't it don't like show you all right, and so then it's like, oh yeah, but definitely 4 though. It's definitely got 4. Uh, what are we told? 3 shag? No, it's a 4 shagger. It's a 4 shagger. Look, I think it's because it was yeah, 4 get in. Yeah, I think it was because it's not an official Bond film, so there was like, right, because usually with the official Bond films, there's that like PG element where they're like, well, we don't want Bond to be shagging too many bears and that. Where in this one, it's like, right, yeah, we'll fucking get Bond to shag fucking loads of bears. They probably did say like, oh yeah, we'll make sure Bond shags more bears in this one than he does in any of the others, so we can like brag that this is the Bond film where Bond shags the most bears. Yeah. Well, anyway, so um, he's getting his ass whooped in that shit by her because she's pissed off that he's smoking and that, and could fuck up the mission if that eye gets infected and that. Well, like Bond, he sort of like airs it in that, and sort of like sees them sort of getting smacked in that, but then she's like, "Oh no, just do the machine and that, and I'll give you some medicine." And I think she's probably giving him sexual favors and all because she gives him a kiss and that, and then she's going to give him some painkillers. Well, Bond sort of like knocks the window, and the blind sort of like moves and up and that, and he shits it, and Bond sort of like runs out and that, or runs away, and she comes out and she's like, "Oh, what's happened?" and that, and he's like, "Oh, there's a dude sort of outside and that." Well, anyway, she has a look with an infrared sort of binoculars where she sees like it's James Bond, because she knows like, oh, it's James Bond. Well, yeah, she don't really fucking do anything in that. She just pretends like she hadn't seen him and that. And so the next day and that, he's like searching the dude's room and that, and then he finds like the matches, and it's got like the Maximilian, um, what's his name? Um, Shit. I'm have to fucking. It's Maximilian something, mate. It's a dude who's like the main bad guy anyway. It's his sort of like emblem on the matches that like Bond sort of like sees and that. Well, then you see fucking uh, Pat Roach, who's like just goes in there and Bond's doing some weights and that, and fucking because Pat Roach takes out the cleaner dude. And that bit of a comedy moment, and that where he chokes him out easy and that, and then like fucking he goes into the weight room where Bond's lifting some weights and that, and he fucking like cuts the weights because it's like a multi gym, and so the weights sort of like land on him and that. And a good fucking move where fucking Bond kicks him in the stomach and then like lifts the weights off with his feet and that, and then fucking gets up and that, and then start fighting and that. Great fucking fight. This is one of them fight scenes where fucking I think Sean Connery would have done most of the like fighting and that in this because Pat Roach is a wrestler and so he knew how to do fucking good fight work. So Sean Connery can like do some good fighting and all, and so yeah, there's a real good fight scene in that way. Pat Roach is just beating the shit out of fucking Sean Connery in that. He just making him fucking like just run away sort of thing in that where Bond sort of like runs away and that and sort of gets to a stage where the fucking in the kitchen and that, and then fucking Bond gets a knife, but Pat Roach has this sort of fucking like a spring wired fucking blade thing that's in his belt that he brings out and it's real sharp. Like I don't know exactly what they used. I think it was just a bit of spring wire that they used, but they made it look like the spring wire could just cut shit in half and that. It cuts like a knife blade and a fucking like um, steel tray that like is used for cooking and that, which they're quite thick and that, you know, because you they're made for like being put in ovens and that. So Pat Roach is just fucking like going crazy with well, Bond he finally gets it off him and bolts it away. Then they're in this medical bit in that where fucking Bond throws his like piss that he doesn't know at the time, but he just grabs some up and throws his urine sample into Pat Roach's face and that, which he fucking gets blinded and that shit, falls back into like loads of like glass tubes and that from where it's been smashed up because he fell back in it and that because he was blinded and just like started staggering back, and then yeah, he's fucked up on that. Yeah. Then yeah, and Bond's in the like office and that, and M's like pissed off because he's like, "Oh, what did you do?" Some because like the reports come back that like he's killed that Pat Roach and that, and he smashed up all, even though he didn't fucking want to do it, like, but half the fucking rooms got smashed up and that, and so like M's like, "Oh, what did you do? Get caught by some jealous husband seducing his wife and that." and like Bond's like, "Oh no," sort of thing. But like, he sort of like gets told, "Oh yeah, fucking, um, like stop fucking being crazy and that shit." Bond's like, "All right then, yeah," sort of thing. Wait. Then it's to the dude who you see where the Americans are having a dummy flight run with these warheads, but he goes in and changes the dummy warheads to be real nuclear warheads, and so he goes in and that like uses his eye scan retinal that he's um like hacked into the fucking computer in that. Uses sort of like bulldog, it's real old sort of like technology of that, as you can see, sort of thing. But it's does its job anyway because it fucking puts the nukes in to the plane and that and get released and that and fucking like to get sort of like put into the river. But then Fatima, she sort of like sees him driving off and that because he's like getting the fuck out of there, and she's congratulating him. But then she throws a snake into his car where he loses control and smashes into like a fucking wall, where then she goes, retrieves the snake, plants a bomb, and blows up his car and that, sort of like getting rid of loose ends and that. Make sure there's no sort of fucking weaknesses. Well, anyway, these nukes are like fucking getting controlled by this dude on a ship that's sort of like somewhere out in the Atlantic, probably ocean. I don't know, but anyway, the like dude controls the warheads to like sink into or to sort of like just submerge themselves underwater, and so that then they can go, get the warhead and that, and yeah, the scanning and that they're off radar and that, so they don't really know exactly where they are and that. Well, then it goes to when the military and American and British sort of like forces and rest of the world sort of like UN sort of like place where they get told that they've got nukes now and Spectre or Smash, I forget which one they use, but I wanting 25% of everyone's sort of income from the world. Every government has to pay like 25% of their sort of growth to fucking Spectre and that, or else they'll start just bombing, just nuking places. And so they've got at least two. So they're all like, "Oh, this is madness and all this shit and that," but they're gonna have to do it and that, but they don't really agree to it right away, sort of thing. Because I think in the film, it's about a few days, sort of. They have a week. I think they have a week to decide, and so yeah. And spoilers, Bond sorts it out within that week, and so they don't even have to like pay out, but they've got like a week to decide and that, and yeah, then Bond sort of like see Bond checking out Maximilian like he's on a computer and that's in the headquarters, but it's just like you could Google it sort of like now, and it just shows you what he's worth and all this and that. And so you see like then Max McMillian in his radio based ship that like he controlled the warheads from and that, and then because it's a real big fucking cruiser yacht that's like fucking like a medium sized one, and so they're still big, the medium sized ones and that. But anyway, you see, like he's got himself a little secret fucking place where he's got a double mirror and he's paving on his bed or checking on her and that, making sure like she ain't getting it off with the dance instructor. And for some reason, she's a dancer, so I think he sort of like pays for her to do like dancing lessons or whatever and that. And she's all like, "Oh yeah, I'll stay on this fucking nope, I'll stay on this cruise ship sort of thing." Oh fuck, let me share again. Oh, it's fucking pisses me off. This. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Look, sorry about that. I fucking. Oh. Christ, I need to get like two screens. So I've got one that I can see the stream, and then one where I can see what pictures I'm fucking putting up in that. But yeah, we go back. Well, yeah. So he's sort of like goes in and that to say hello to his bed, and then he gives her a necklace, which was they call it the Tears of Allah, and that, and there's like a stone in it that's like later on you find out it's a map, but you don't really know at this stage. Wait. She asks him like, "What would you do if I leave you?" and that sort of thing, and he's like, "Oh, cut your throat," and that. So it was a little bit where it starts showing the cracks in the relationship at this point. But anyway, Sean Connery in that Bond, he fucking goes to fucking Q and that, who's played by this dude. What's his name? Put him right low now. Alec McCowan. Yeah. He's playing Q and that, and he like sort of shows him this exploding pen thing where you can fire an explosive shot and that blows up a target. And gives him a laser watch and all, and like starts saying, "Oh yeah, we're glad you're back." And that there's going to be a lot of sex and violence going on now because he says he's getting a bit bored because like that must be it's been a bit boring for him and that. So yeah, he shows him a bike and all, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I need to like get it working and that, or when I get it working, I'll send you it." Oh yeah. Well, then Bond goes to the Bahamas and that because he's tracked down that Maximilian's place where he meets Ron Atkinson and that who plays this right idiot who fucking shouts his name and that. And he's supposed to be like a secret agent and that, so he's shouting his name and all this and like gets like told by Bond, "Oh yeah, just find out where Maximilian's fucking yacht is and that, so we can like see what's happening." So like, yeah, okay, sort of thing. And like, then you see Bond where he's having a vodka martini and he sees Fatima doing some um, not jet skiing, water skiing. She's doing some water skiing and that, and she sort of like goes up onto this ramp thing where Bond's sort of like having his vodka martini, and she's a bit out of control because she's going too fast, and Bond stops her in that. One of them iconic Bond moments where you sort of like see it if you Bond clips and that. Wait. She sort of tells Bond like, "Oh yeah," because they're sort of like meeting that. Uh, she pretends like, "Oh yeah, oh we can go um, scuba diving for oh for investigating a shipwreck where things like the nukes are whatever in that." Well, anyway, before that though, she like gets talking to Bond and that, and she's all like, "Oh yeah, fucking, I'm a bit nervous and that," and so Bond's like, "Oh, we shouldn't be nervous and that," and he starts taking his pants off, and then it gets where she fucking starts to kiss him and that, and then he gets his second shag. And yeah, well, fucking that pen's off. I'm marking them off. There you go. So yeah, that's his second shag. Where the proper thing, go into like a bit of a not a full on sex scene because you don't see no tit, but you do see a sort of like naked, but covering up her tits and that. So quite sort of like raunchy for a Bond film. Because usually you just see them afterwards, sort of thing. You see them kiss like that, and then you see them afterwards. But on this one, it goes proper like fucking like a bit of sex scene that. Well, anyway, then they go fucking diving. Yeah, and Oh, yeah. Similar Red Shirt says, I always like the opening to this movie. Yeah, yeah. I was saying it. It was one of them openings where the music's going, but you're seeing like the intros like they usually do in films sometimes, where the opening scene with the music and that, yeah, and he's kicking ass in it, like, fuck, yeah, and saying, just dropping in to say hi and leave a like. Oh, I remember seeing this one in the theaters. Dimly remember next weekend I went to go see Octopussy. Yeah, yeah. Well, I would say like this is better than Octopussy, but Octopussy is still a great film, though. But he gets more shags in this. This is more of a serious Bond film where he's getting more shags. By the way, yeah, as as I go like diving to check out this record and that, she plants a like tracking device that like fucking attracts sharks and that. So sharks like fucking after Bond and that, and he has to like swimming and that, and like bit where it was a proper shark in that because the shark ain't really that big, and even though it could still attack and mess you up, like bite a limb off probably, but it won't kill. So it was still dangerous, but not that dangerous. And maybe the shark and all was a bit of a tame one, you know, where it's used to being sort of like near people. So it looked like a baby one and all. But anyway, yeah. Bondo finds like the tracking thing on his back and like puts it down, sort of like just so lets it sink down where the shark follows it and that. And yeah, fucking Bond gets his air tank though fucked up as the shark passes him, and so then he sees like a fishing line where fucking and I tell you, a lot of in this movie, and so you see this bird who earlier on he was all like, "Oh yeah, you're going out fishing and that," and he's just like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Oh yeah." I'll catch you later. And so then, like, when he probably like, oh, yeah, you said you'd catch me later and that. And so, yeah, then they go back to the hotel where Fatima, she sort of like sees Bond and that alive. And so then she plants a bomb in his room where she fucking like blows it up and that. And you're thinking like, oh yeah, shit, Bond's dead. But no, this ain't no time to die. Fucking Bond, like he should have been in No Time to Die. He's too busy shagging that fishing bed where he's all like, oh yeah, glad we made the decision to go to yours and that. So there's his third shag. And he's still got to get with Kim Bezinger and all the like Bond girl of this film and that. By the way, Bond sort of like goes to I think France Yeah, yeah, the south of France, where he's moved his yacht ship boat thing, what he's got, and there he meets Felix Leiter in that, where Felix Leiter sort of like throws a ball at him to show his reflexes and that, which shits up the bird who he's with, which is sort of like his contact bird, or was it the French contact bird? And then like they're in the hotel room where and she's making some drinks and that, and they're like talking about Maximilian and that, and they see like Kim Bezinger, where she's like, "Oh yeah, that's Donnie Moore." Um, Pantry, Patchery, yeah, Donnie Moore Patchery. Oh, they realise that Jack Patchery, the dude who the the done the warhead um, replacement with his eye that he had surgically placed, and that is his sister or his brother, and that. And so then the like no sort of like, oh yeah, there must be some kind of link here and that. So then Bond, he goes to like this spa place and that, way she is, where you see like loads of bears in that, and then he pretends to be like, because he goes in there pretending to just want a massage and that, but when he gets in there, he starts to pretend that he is a massager, so with King Basinger and that Donnie Moore sort of thing, and so he's all like, oh yeah, turn over and all this. So he gets a good apple and everything, and he's giving her like a back rub and everything and that. And then he's like talking to her about Maximilian and that, and she says, "Oh yeah, there's going to be a charity ball for kids, fundraiser for kids and that." And so he's like, "Oh right, yeah, I won't mind going," but she's like, "Oh no, I can't get you any tickets are out. It's all sold out." Well, anyway, then the woman who is the real masseuse and that comes, so he leaves and that, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, sorry for being late and that." And you're like, "Oh, what was that dude?" And he's like, "Oh, there's no dude who works here and that." And so then, um, you where you, you see Bond. Oh, fucking hell! You see Bond go to the casino place where this fundraiser's happening, and he tells that French connection, that French there who's his French connection uh, ally, to go back to the hotel where you see Fatima say, "Oh yeah, follow her," and that, see where the hotel is and that. And so then Bond goes in, and he just walks through where the security dude. He's like, "Hey, where's your password?" Bond like fucking punches him in his stomach, and then sort of like pushes him into like this room, closet room, where he grabs his gun off the dude and fucking points it in his face and that, and puts what he says is a bomb that's like got a sensitive tracking system on it that if he moves it vertically, so he can move it up or down, but he can't move it left or right or forward or back or out. If he does it, it'll blow, and so he can only like lift it up or down. Anyway, Bond then leaves and then fucking goes into the charity room and that. Yeah, where he like sees Kim Bezinger and that, but you see Maximilian talking to Fatima because she's like, oh yeah, Bond's like fucking here, and oh like yeah, talk about like fucking Bond anyway, I think, in that. Well, Bond then sees Kim Basinger on is look like Centipede, a lot of Centipede arcade games that, and Bond sort of like talks to her and that, and they have a drink and that, and then Maximilian comes over and that, saying, "Oh yeah, fucking yeah, how do you like sort of sports and that? But you into like arcade games and that? Well, you don't even say arcade games, but you're like, oh yeah, come and play like a game for charity and that, because it was supposed to be like a charity event and that. Well, anyway, this is when they play this domination game, is called, where it's a bit like Risk, apart from you don't throw the dice to gain territory. You have to shoot it like with a sort of targeting system, like where you shoot into the spot that's is lit up and that, to claim it. And it's the first one to shoot that bit of land wins it, and it's the one who wins the most parts of the land and that. Well, anyway, Bond and Maximilian start the game and that, and this is real good fucking graphics for its time and that, because like it looks like it's a holograph, but obviously when they filmed it, they just told them, "Oh yeah, just pretend like there's a thing there that you fucking shooting at." Well, first game and that fucking gets started, but Bond gets a little electric shock from the controller, and Maximilian says, "Oh yeah, shit, I forgot to tell you. When you start to lose, you get an electric shock, and it increases the more you're losing." And he said, "Because you didn't know that, we'll start it again." And so anyway, they do another game in that, but then like Maximilian's winning in that, but Bond's got to the 80% mark of fucking pain and that, where he has to let go. And that, because like he's getting electrocuted and that. Then my brother was like, "Oh yeah, let's quit it. How much did you owe me? It's something like $16,000 or whatever. And then like Bond's like, all right, let's have another game in that for the world. And so they have a game where Bond wins this one because he like fucking starts to like shoot the targets before Max a million does and that. So fucking Max Million has to let go and that because he's fucking getting electrocuted and that. And he does a good sort of like fucking psycho look to say, oh yeah, fucking, I don't care about pain sort of thing and that. And then like Bond like thinks like, oh yeah, he's a bit of a nut at this stage. Well, anyway, Bond's Maximilian's gonna write out a check to Bond and that, but Bond's like, oh no, you can keep your check. I just want a dance, one dance with your missus, where fucking he's dancing with Kim Basinger and that, and they're all like, oh yeah, fucking doing the tango and that. Well, it's like because that's off Police Academy, but it's a bit like that. But anyway, whilst they're dancing, Bond's like, "Oh yeah, Maximilian killed your brother," and she's like a bit shocked in that. He's like, "Oh yeah, fucking." Um, don't sort of like let on sort of thing. Well, anyway, she's like a bit fucking shocked in that, but she keeps sort of like a composure. And then when Maximilian sort of like comes and sort of grabs her and that back sort of thing after the dance, she's like, "Oh yeah, I want to go." Oh no, Maximilian's like, "Oh yeah, we got to go." Oh, where's he go? North Africa, I think. But he don't tell her that. But he says, "Oh yeah, we've got to leave tomorrow and that, so we'll get packed or whatever." And she's like, "Oh no, I've got to see my brother." And he's like, "Oh no, he delayed his leave again." And so she like a bit suspicious now because Bond's told her like, "Oh, he's killed your brother" and that. Well, anyway, then Bond goes like out sort of thing, but he collects his what he called was a bomb. What he said was a bomb, but it's just a cigar case that he fucking give the dude and that. And so he like leaves and that and goes back to his hotel room where fucking the French bird is dead. Now, this is where he could have shagged, Bond could have shagged her beforehand, but you don't see it in that. So, like in the film, they don't say like he did, but you know, there was a good half hour sort of thing where Bond would have been sort of like in alone with her whilst Felix Leiter had fucked off and that, and he's getting ready for the fucking um, charity event. But in the film, he don't, so can't class it. Even though with a bit of editing skill, you could fucking make it look like he'd shagged her. But anyway, Bond then like sees fucking Fatima like legging it out of the fucking room and that. And so fucking he chases after it on his motorbike and that, where she's in her it could be a little mini Citroen. I don't know what she's in, but whatever she's in, it's like a rally car, and that's like it's just fucking like really fast and that and nippy round the corners. It's a bit like a mini. It's not a mini, but it's a bit like a mini, but it's not. Well, anyway, Bond, like, obviously he's not Sean Connery. It's like a bike stunt double, but he's going up these stairs and that and down them and that on this bike where it's like really good fucking bike skills and that. And he fucking does some like really good fucking wheelies and that. And there's a bit where he even jumps a fucking like bridge and that, does an Evil Knievel jump and all. It's fucking really good bike fucking scene. If you thought fucking the bike scene that's in No Time to Die was good, then you'll think this is fucking good and all, because it's just as good, if not better, because they use special effects where in this they don't. But great fucking bike chase scene. Well, anyway, they get Bond into like the back of this fucking like truck where they're gonna shut it, but as it's like getting shut, where they should have known this. They built a ramp for him, so he just fucking bends out like fucking out the ramp and that. And then like these cars are like chasing him, where fucking he like uses a rocket sort of propel him over like one car that like makes the other car behind him crash into the car that he just jumped over, and that just smashes and goes like fucking over that. Oh yeah, and then he jumps the fucking bridge thing. Real good jumps he's doing in this on the bike. I wish I could have took more fucking screenshots, but I was in a bit of a rush. But anyway, he gets took to a part of like on the docks where it's like this fucking bit where fucking Fatima uses her ship pole, as in like a pole, a flask, like as a fucking mast of a ship on it. For some reason, it is put in there, so she uses it to fucking smack Bond off his bike and that. Good stunt and all, whatever was done, because it was proper one of them where it was like, right, we're just gonna get this wooden pole to like smack you in the chest off your bike and that. And then yeah, so then Bond sort of like on the floor and she's got like a gun on him. And she tells him to spread his legs where she's going to shoot his balls. She's like, oh, can you guess where the first shot's going to go? Like, oh, yeah. Well, anyway, Bond starts like saying, oh, yeah, fucking, it's a pity because I was going to put you in my memoirs as being the best, taking the piss. But then and at the time you're thinking, oh, he's right crazy bitch. This is a bit unbelievable. But then you see some of the SJWs and what they're fucking doing on the fucking TikToks and fucking other social media outlets, and you're thinking, oh no, I can see how they got this crazy bitch bed fucking like spot on. Well, anyway, she's like, oh yeah, well, write on a piece of paper that she throws to him that I was the best lover and all this. Well, Bond's like, oh yeah, well, I think there was someone in oh, don't say Kansas, but it's some American Tampa or something. I don't know. Well, anyway, she's like, fucking don't you fucking head out, you're going crazy and that. And at the time when you watch this, back in the 80s, you're thinking, oh, there can't be crazy bitches like that. But then you see fucking crazy bitches on TikTok, and it's like, oh yeah, yeah. It was written before its time. Well, anyway, Bomb gets that pen out that fucking Q gave him with like a Union Jack on and that, just to show British fucking um, Bond style. And like, yeah, it fires at her and that, and it hits her, but it doesn't explode. And then she starts laughing, but then it does explode, and then she fucking just gets incinerated and that. And Bond's like, oh fuck. And then the cops are around, and fucking Felix Leiter, he sort of like comes in and like, oh yeah, Bob, and fucking. So you did do that crazy bitch in that. But anyway, fucking. Like, sort of leave and that, but they leave undercover as pretending to be sort of like joggers, and I don't even know where they got the bike from, but they're just pretending to be like training and that. And so yeah, they get out and that shit sort of thing, and then Bond and Felix go to the boat and that, but only Bond gets in on the boat, but then he's found and that, and he's sort of like giving a fucking oh, towel and robe sort of thing, because he's like swam underneath the sort of like um, hall of the ship to get in. By the way, he's on there and that, and fucking he's talking to Maximilian and that, who's like bossing and that. Well, anyway, then he gets talking to Kim Basinger, and he's all like, "Oh yeah, fucking, I'll need you to kiss me and that because Maximilian was in that room, that his secret room that is spying on him and that." And so when Maximilian gets pissed off that he runs out the room, and as he runs out the room and that and gets into the room that he's spying on, Bond sort of like gets out and that, and Kim Basinger's thing is an alarm that fucking Bond that can then just fucking get into his room and that, because there's a lot of commotion and that going on, and everyone's like running off the ship or running around the ship anyway. Well, whilst Bond's there, he sets off like a fucking stress signal to the British and American sort of forces to like fucking tell them like, oh yeah, that's where he is and that sort of thing. To watch out, keep a track on the sort of like fucking signal where it's coming from and that. So yeah, then like fucking Maximilian gets like Bond and that, and Donnie to his North African. I think he's in Calmera or whatever. He's in some place that's like fucking miles away from fucking civilization. Anyway, in the 80s and that, because like he like shows because he gets Bond to get put in like a fucking dungeon sort of fucking thing where he's tied, he's chained up with vultures and that, and then he sort of like gives Kim Basinger a ivory sort of statue that he smashes to show her like he don't care about what he loves if it pisses him off. Well, anyway, he admits like he killed a brother and that sort of shit, and then fucking goes to. Oh, I think yeah. Before this, he like talks to Bond and that, and he's like tells him, "Oh yeah, fucking about having the bombs and that." Oh no. He figures, yeah. He then after like telling Kim Basinger that he killed his brother, he then sort of like gives her to this dude to sell her for a slave, sort of like sex slave or whatever slave you want, sort of like thing in this North Africa place sort of thing. Well, then like he goes to Bond and tells him like, "Oh yeah, okay, you're gonna die here and that," and nice view sort of thing, so you can see your girlfriend getting sold and all that shit. Well, anyway, Bond's like, "Oh yeah, well, fucking tell me where the bombs are then," and he's like, "Oh well, I'll might as well because you ain't gonna escape." And he says, "Oh yeah, one of the bomb is planted underneath the White House, and he won't tell him though where the second bomb's planted." And that like, but anyway, then Bond he fucking uses his laser watch to fucking escape the like cuffs and chains and that is fucking being shackled in. Okay, this time though, they use the bottom latch bit of the watch where the laser is. So yeah, bit of a different sort of usage. But anyway, Bond sort of like gets free, and then he can see sort of Maximilian sort of legging it out, and he can see like fucking Kim Basinger sort of like sat, or Kim Basinger sort of like tied to the pole where the dude. It's a bit of comedy here and that, where he's sort of like, "Oh yeah, I've got customers," because like dudes like roll in and that, and he starts to like show her off and that, and he's all like, "Oh yeah, okay, look at this sort of thing and that." And Kim Basinger's a bit like pissed off because she don't want to get sold and that, and so like there's a bit where fucking she elbows the dude, and the dude just grabs her by the throat. Like, yeah, he's probably saying, "Don't be fucking me around." And that it's a bit like good sort of fucking uh, interaction and that sort of shit where there's a bit of comedy, sort of black comedy sort of thing. Well, anyway, Bond fucking then makes out like he's escapes where a soldier comes in and that to check out Bond, and then he like has a look, but then Bond grabs him and just like pulls him over, and it's like a fucking 200-foot drop, whatever, to the end. I mean, to the sea and that. Which fucking you hear him screaming. So I think it is. He lands on concrete. Well, anyway, Bond fucking gets out and that, and he starts to like fucking beat up one or two people and gets a horse and that, and fucking rides in and gets Kim Bezinger and that on the back of his horse and that. It's a good fucking like horse fucking riding in that way, having to like fucking boot people and that shit, and fucking like knock people, bag people and that with the horse, and like fucking some good fucking like stunt work in that, an action scene. But anyway, he jumps off. He has to jump off the edge of the building into the sea, sort of thing, and that where fucking they start to like shoot at him and that, and the horse sort of like swims to the shore and that. Well, an American or British submarine like surfaces and then just starts fucking blowing the shit, which I don't know how it fucking I don't know how it could do that. I don't know if submarines can fire in the air like that, but this one can anyway. He just starts blowing the shit out of the fucking place and that, and then a boat comes and rescues them, sort of picks them up, and then they go in on the submarine and that, and they have like a shower in that, and fucking there's a bit where Bond touches her ass, and it was off camera. It like screams a little bit, but she's all fucking happy, as in like, oh yeah, it was done just to get that shot right, as in make it seem like fucking Aaron Bond had some like um, connection, because yeah, he must have shagged her because like they got a shower together here, so they probably had a shag. So that's where Bond does his fourth shag, gets his fourth one. Yeah. Well, anyway, N sort of like says, "Oh yeah, they've cracked the code for the bomb and that, because they found it underneath the White House and that. But they still need to find the second one." And that, well, Bond sort of like fucking saying, "Oh yeah, fucking it's somewhere around here." And then he notices the necklace with the tear of Allah on, and then so they find out like it's an underwater cave sort of fucking place where he's hiding out and that. And so Bond and Felix later get like fucking the like rocket sort of ships getting launched torpedo style into the air, fucking make it more fucking dramatic in that. Which is fucking like I, I don't think they could do it, but I think they are designing some stuff like that nowadays. But Anyway, Bond gets to fucking like this underwater cave where they've got the like the second nuclear warhead and that thermal warhead, where they're all like fucking digging it up and that shit to like move it and that, laying down some tracks so they can move it, and like fucking Bond sort of like fucking goes up on top of like a ledge bit and starts to push like fucking the statue that the fucking wrapped some rigging around to like fucking carry this nuclear warhead sort of thing and that. Because there's a gap bit that they need to get over, and so they built like a little fucking bridge thing. Well, anyway, the fucking statue goes down and that, and fucking it all kicks off and that, and like fucking it all starts shooting it, and fucking the reinforcements by this time are like showing up and that. And a lot of fucking shooting and fucking like explosions and that. And some pretty good fucking action and that fucking. Well, anyway, you see like Blofeld at the head table of the fucking Smash or Spectre, I forget which one it said, but he's like got a two-way communication system where he's like congratulating Maximilian, saying, "Oh yeah, you done a great job on this shit." Well, because they don't really know it's all kicking off there, because like Maximilian hadn't set out and that. And so I fucking think it's all going good and that. Well, yeah, as it's kicking off and that, Maximilian, he fucking escapes underneath this little outlet sort of place where Bond tries to get. Oh yeah, well, yeah, the all kicks off and that shit. And like blows up this outlet thing where fucking Bond tries to get there, but he Maximilian that he's took the nuclear warhead on like a little sub, so he's made a little sub thing around it that like he can transport it real easy underwater and use it as like a fucking, like they're doing Bond films. They're like a little sub carrier sort of thing that like carries them and carries other stuff and that like he gets underwater and that and takes it out. But Bond tries to get there, but it blows and that, so like he can't go that way. So then he has to like fucking get an airlift to like this well where he gets dropped down a well to get to the bit where fucking it would be in these sort of like fucking underground fucking river fucking pothole fucking things that like fucking lead off into like this well sort of fucking thing where people watch see Bond getting sort of like dropped into a well and that, and then like fucking Bond gets down into the well and like finds fucking Maximilian and that with the fucking thermal bomb, because I think he's planting it where there's an oil line or what water sort of line where he's going to blow it up and it's going to cause like fucking a massive sort of destruction to the economy and foundation, I think, of Western society. So that's why he's trying to plant it and that. Well, anyway, Bond's fighting him and that, but like fucking, like fucking leaves him and that because he needs to like disable the fucking nuclear warhead that's gonna get fucking set up and that. And so fucking he's like going to it, but Maximilian tries to like grab him, but the little boat thing like traps Maximilian into the side of a fucking cliff or a little rock face sort of thing. That's like fucking the fighting near and that. Well, then Bond gets like the control panel out to disarm it, where you see Maximilian get like a spear gun from the side of the little like submarine. Well, it's not a submarine. It's propulsion fucking little thing that like you grab onto. I forget exactly what you call them, but anyway, it's got a like spear harpoon at the side of it where he grabs it and that, and he's just about to shoot Bond. And if you know the ending of Thunderbolt, you know that he then gets shot. And who's it by? By Donnie, who Kim Bezinger plays and that. Then it cuts to where fucking after she shot him and that, Bond disarms the bomb and that, the fucking sort of like swims to her and like sort of like calms her down and that, as in gives her a hug. And then you see Kim Basinger diving into a swimming pool that's back at the hotel, where she then gets Bond some cocktails where he's like, oh, we've had vodka martinis and that. And then there's some kind of fucking rustling in the like bushes and that, where you see a dude walking in and that opening the gates and that. So Bond gets out and then sort of like ghosts him and then grabs him and then throws him into the swimming pool, and it's Rowan Atkinson's character begging him to come back because M wants more 00 agents and that, and he's like wanting Bond to be back to his sort of secret agent sort of duties, where Bond's like, no, I'm never going to do it. And then Kim Basinger's like, what, never? And then fucking they have like a kiss and that, where, yeah, it's definitely his fourth, it's probably his fifth or sixth shag, but there's 3 times or 4 times with Kim Bezinger, so we only class that as one shag. But anyway, it sort of like fucking goes to where Bond winks into the camera and it's like the 007 sign. And then it goes into the never say never again. Never say never again. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking class film. I say. Uh, uh, Nelson, Joe says, Marty Jens confessed to sacrificing a child to Satan for touching his CD collection on Tommy's retro stream 2 days ago in Doc Brown's voice. Yeah. Oh, hi, Jens. Yeah. Yeah, Nelson. Yeah. No, I didn't say I sacrificed kids. I said if there was going to be sacrificed, then at least we want good entertainment getting made. And then it's like, yeah, all right, then, yeah, sure. I'm the bad guy. It's not like I'm sacrificing them. I'm just saying, if it's good entertainment, I'm not going to stop them. It's not my job. But anyway, yeah. Fucking Never Say Never. Great film. It's like one where the storyline, as I say, not great because it's basically just retelling Thunderbolt, but it's fucking great retelling of it. As in, you can't really tell it's Thunderbolt apart from like the end bit where fucking she takes him out with a spear. And a harpoon, should I say? And that it's about nukes getting like took from military bases. But yeah, great fucking film, or somewhat like fucking that to be made today won't be like, oh no, Bond can't be shagging 4 beds. We don't want to encourage male what's it called? Male infertility, as in like males shagging and that beds. So, we don't want to show Bond knobbing loads of beds. No. So yeah, because like the last one, he didn't even knob any beds. He got turned down twice. So, but on this one, he knobs 4 beds. He shagged 4 of them. Could have been 5, but definitely 4. Well, yeah, that's it. Never Say Never. Great film. And that. And, yeah, I have to, like, be a bit disappointed with its price because it is an expense. It's one of the expensive Bond films of them all, apart from it, unless it's like a fucking new release Bond. But once a Bond film's about a year or 2 old, it fucking Never Say Never usually becomes the fucking most expensive Bond film to get second hand because you don't get it that often because it's not in the box set. And so yeah. And it's a great film and that, but I prefer Live and Let Die to be the best Bond film. And so yeah, when it's about 2 or 3 times more expensive than Live and Let Die, you're like, well, we have to get it for the collection. If you haven't got the Never Say Never Again DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever media, then you haven't got the full collection. Even though it's not an official. But still need it though, because it is a good fucking Bond film, even though it's not official. But yeah, great Bond film though. So yeah, well, thanks to Nelson for popping in that and saying all right that. Yeah, man. And cheers to Son of Red Shirt. And cheers to Captain Mighty Spock with for getting yeah. And cheers to Pop Culture Korea. Cheers, man. So yeah. What's it next week? I guess A View to a Kill. Yeah, it's A View to a Kill. When the Bond film started getting a bit more sort of like, well, not rocking, but a bit more sort of upbeat than because like most of the songs had been a bit like, well, the last 3 Bond songs we got Never Say Never and fucking All Time High and For Your Eyes Only and that, you know, those like really chick ballads where A View to a Kill is a bit of Duran Duran. Yeah. Bit of Duran Duran. Well, thanks for watching. Cheers.